Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening everyone and good morning everyone. Today you are joining Monday Sutta discussion and this is day 91. In today's discussion, I'll be, going to discuss about a topic this way: 10 desirable things that are hard to get. 10 desirable things that are hard to get. Now, this is appeared in Anguttara Nikaya 10.73. So this sutta is very interesting because a lot of people have this misperception that the Buddhist teachings always present ideas that everything is a result of karma, everything is a manifestation of karma. But according to this sutta, what we understand is that these 10 things that are hard to get, they are results of someone's better handling of one's life, and it doesn't particularly relate to a specific karma. So it is clearly seen that these 10 rare things, they are a product of one's one's proper managing of life. So let's take a look at what these 10 are, and then we'll try to see these 10 as things that anybody can work on, anybody can practice to acquire these 10 rare things. Okay, so one more time, the sutta's name is Iṭṭhadhamma Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya, 10th section, and then 10.73 sutta. And you can click on the link which is in the description. Iṭṭhadhamma Sutta. Now, what is Iṭṭha? Iṭṭha means likable, and Dhamma is more likely things. Okay. Savati. So the sutta was given in the Savati. Dasa ime bhikkhave dhamma itta kanta manapa dullabha lokasmi. Monks, these 10 likable, desirable and agreeable things are rare in the world. So there are 10 things that are highly likable, desirable and agreeable, but they are rare to many. Now, when this kind of a statement is made, a lot of people think that, this may be something due to my past karma. No, this is what I'm going to tell you. What 10? Katame dasa. Bhoga ittha kanta manapa dullabha lokasmi. So it's a kind of a stock expression. Ittha kanta manapa dullabha lokasmi, because it comes it is seen to have been added to each rare thing. Bhoga ittha kanta manapa dullabha lokasmi, which is the first rare thing. Vanno itto kanto manapo dullabho lokasmi. Second. Third. Arogyam ittang kantang manapang dullabhang lokasmi. Silang ittang kantang manapang dullabhang lokasmi. Brahmacharyang ittang kantang manapang dullabhang lokasmi. Mitta itta kanta manapa dullabha lokasmi. Bahu satchang ittang kantang manapang dullabhang lokasmi. Panya itta kanta manapa dullabha lokasmi. Dhamma ittha kanta manapa dullabha lokasmi. So Dhamma doesn't mean the same interpretation that we know. because Dhamma, the word Dhamma, Pali word Dhamma has multiple meanings. This place has a different meaning. Sagga Iṭṭha Kanta Manapa Dullabha Lokasmi. Okay, what 10? Number 1, wealth. So Bhoga means wealth, and Vanno means beauty. Arogyang means health. Silang means ethical conduct. Brahmacharyang means spiritual life. And Mitta means friends. Bahusachang means great learning. Panya means wisdom. Dhamma means good qualities. Sagga means heaven. So all these 10 things are rare, but everybody likes, desires and wants to achieve all these 10 in their life, right? So, but the problem is, Imeko Bhikkave Dasadhamma Itta Kanta Manapa Dullabalu. So these are the 10 things, rare things that are likable, desirable and agreeable. Ime Sankho Bhikkave Dasannang Dhammanang Iṭṭhanang Kantanang Manapanang Dullabhanang Lokasmi. Now the problem is, these 10 are considered to be, highly, likable, ittha, desirable, kanta, agreeable, manapa, but they are dullabha, they are rare. Not even that, but also dasadhamma paripanta. So there are 10 hindrances for people, for beings to achieve these 10. There are hindrances, not, someone can easily acquire these 10. What are the hindrances for someone to, acquire these 10 rare things? The first, now we specifically understood that the first rare thing, which is likable, desirable, agreeable, is bhoga, which means wealth. Is Dasadhamma Paripanta Alasang Anutthanam Bhoganam Paripanto. Now there's a hindrance to acquiring wealth. What is it? Alasang Anutthana. Alasang means sloth. Anuttanam means lack of initiative, right? So people do not even start. People do not even want to give a try. So alasang and anuttana, which means sloth and lack of initiative, right? So that's the hindrance. Amandana abhusana vannasa. So beauty, there is a hindrance to beauty, that is amandana abhusana, because now we're talking about the beauty of someone, beauty of everyone based on this life, not thinking about previous lives. Okay. So the reason, so the hindrance to not being able to be beautiful is amandana abhusana. Amandana means lack of adornment and decoration. Now people might question if the Buddha already told that we are not supposed to wear these things on a full moon day, when practicing some specific precepts. But in here, even though there are precepts, but it doesn't limit beautifying thoughts, thoughts that could come to someone who want to be beautiful, who want to be handsome. So people who don't feel that they are not beautiful and handsome, pretty, the reason is that they are lacking in adornment and decoration, because it's this life thing. Vanasa paripanta. See, that's the hindrance to being beautiful. Asappaya kiriya arogyasa paripanto. Asappaya kiriya. Now, sappaya means suitable. Asappaya kiriya means unsuitable. So, asappaya kiriya, unsuitable activities. Arogyasa paripanto. So, why, many people, can be healthy because they are doing unsuitable activities, which is pretty clear, right? If you don't think about your food styles, if you don't think about your craving, right? So all those are unsuitable activities. We will be explaining more, after, giving you the translation of the Pali. So the hindrance to become healthy is being into unsuitable activities. And then papa mittata silanam paripanto. So what is hindrance? What is the hindrance to sila? That is papa mittata, which means bad friendship. Bad friends. Indriya sangvaro brahmacharyasa paripanto. So brahmacharya. So what is hindrance to brahmacharya, spiritual life? Now people already know brahmacharya to be celibacy, but in most cases brahmacharya seems to be spiritual life, right? So what is hindrance to spiritual life? That is none other than self-restraint, called sense restraint. So restraining our senses. Visangvadana mittana paripantu. So what is hindrance to having good friends? That is visangvadana, which means dishonesty. Visangvadana. Asajjhaya kiriya bahu satchasa paripantu. So what is hindrance to great learning? Now we know bahu satcha in many places. The hindrance to bahu satcha, great learning. So if someone says I don't have this much of learning, then the hindrance to that particular inability is asajjhaya kiriya. Asajjhaya kiriya means not reciting, not rehearsing, not practicing, right? If you don't practice anything which you learned previously, it will be not the same when you want to remember that particular thing, right? Asusa aparipucca panyaya paripanta. So what is hindrance to wisdom? Asussusa aparipucca, which means not learning or not hearing. At that time it's hearing, right? Not hearing and not questioning. Now this is very interesting. So far we know that listening to Dhamma is the most important thing to attain Nibbana or Sotapanna. But here it is clearly said that not even listening, you need to question, you need to have a Q&A session with a monk, with someone, right? So without questioning, let's say somebody is giving a talk, like me in this case, giving me a talk. If you don't ask me questions, I don't know whether you understand. You don't know whether you properly understood, right? So you need to question, but in a proper way, not maliciously, not showing that you are, better than somebody else. You need to genuinely ask questions from someone about the Dhamma matters. So hindrance to wisdom is not listening and not questioning. Ananuyogo apaccha vekkana dhammanam paripanto. So what is hindrance to good qualities? So Dhamma in this case means good qualities. That is ananuyogo apaccha vekkana. Ananuyoga means lack of commitment, and apaccha vekkana means reviving. Lack of commitment and lack of reviving. So I would say, the biggest problem that many people experience when it comes to good qualities that they learn is that they do not commit to the good things. Let's say they listen to a Dhamma talk one day, maybe for a week, maybe for a month, and then they drop it. So they don't have the commitment. So, no skill is going to work for you if you don't practice it, right? So that, completely relates to, applies to, the Buddhist practice. Not even commitment towards the Dhamma, understanding and consistent practice, but also apachavekana, reflection. The Buddha always says that Dhamma is a reflection. Not that you go to a temple, not that you watch on YouTube, not that you watch on Facebook. So you learn it and then you reflect that, contemplate what the monk is saying, what the books are saying, what you hear from other people in person. So you need to commit at the same time to review what's going on, what I already know, and what I'm listening to this, what I'm hearing from this particular person. So lack of commitment and lack of reviewing, that's the hindrance to wisdom. That is why many people do not grow in their wisdom. Miccha patipatti sagganam paripanto. Wrong practice is a hindrance to not being able to be born in a good place. I would say there are 31 realms in the Buddhist teaching. So let's say if you are not practicing the proper practice, samadhi, I would say, right, view, then what will happen to you is that you won't be able to be reborn in a future good life, good realm, right? Like a human life or Brahma worlds or heavens. Imesang, because I'm sort of like, explaining to you, as a summary, but I'm gonna go into details after. Imesang ko bhikkhave dasannang dhammanang iṭṭhadhamma kantanang manapanang dullabhanang lokasmi ime Iṭṭhadhamma paripanta. Let me read again the translation. 10 things hinder the 10 likable, ittha, desirable, kanta, and agreeable things, manapa, that are rare in the world. Sloth and lack of initiative hinder wealth. Lack of adornment and decoration hinder beauty. Unsuitable activity hinders health. Bad friendship hinders ethical conduct, sila. Lack of sense restraint hinders the spiritual life, brahmacharya. Dishonesty hinders friends, avisanvadanta. Not reciting hinders learning. That is why Bahusacca is not in many people. Not wanting to listen and ask questions hinders wisdom. Asussusa aparipucca. Lack of commitment and reviewing hinder good qualities, which means ananuyogo and apachavekana. Ananuyogo means lack of commitment, and aparipucca means lack of reviewing. Wrong practice hinders heaven. Miccha patipatti. These 10 things hinder the 10 likable, desirable, and agreeable things that are rare in the world. Okay? Now we talked about the 10 likable, desirable, agreeable things, and we also talk about why, what are the causes of why people are not being able to fulfill these 10 in this life. Because please keep in mind that this sutta teaches us that the 10 likable, desirable, agreeable, rare things, they are not appearing to someone as a result of karma, because but karmas you do in this life. So you need to practice certain things to achieve these 10. So you don't need to bring you back to the samsara, past lives. This is why I'm not getting this. So you need to be able to get all these if you practice the 10 that I'm going to talk to you now. First we recognized the 10, and then we talked about the reasons why these 10 are not affecting us, why these 10 are not appearing us in our life, and then I'm talking about what we need to do to achieve these 10. Imesang ko bhikkhave dasannang dhammanang iṭṭhadhamma kantanang manapanang dullabhanang lokasmi. Okay. Dasa dhamma ahara Analasang Utthanang Bhoganang Aharu. Now the Buddha explains what you need to do to achieve these 10 as nutriment, like nourishment. So these are the nourishments you should nourish yourself to get these 10 in this life. So there is no problem, when it comes to people from different religion, cultures. So everybody is eligible to gain these 10 if you practice these 10 in your life consistently. The first, Dasa Dhamma Ahara Analasang Utthanang Bhoganang Aharu. So what you need to do to get wealth, right? It has money, it has properties, and many things, right? So the Buddha says, Analasang Utthanang Bhoganang Aharu. Okay, what does it mean? Application and initiative nourish your wealth, which means you need to be able to, practice application. So application in this case means that you are not lazy. You are always diligent. You are always, practicing virya, effort. So the virya is not something that you are lacking in your life. So you always have virya. You always need to keep in your mind, regardless of what's going to happen, I'm always diligent. I really want to get this done. I mean, first you have to use your wisdom to find out what you really want in terms of wealth, and then you are not expiring. You are not running out of your energy. So you need to consistently practice, continue with your energy. Do not stop. Do not end up with your energy, because energy is something we need to always keep until we not even until we hit our goals, but also we need to continue. So that's one of the nourishments about wealth. And then initiative. So even you are very diligent and you have a lot of energy, but if you don't know how to start it, the best way to initiate the particular activity, then that's a problem too. So every time when you are diligent and when you are energetic, you need to find out how I can utilize my energy into good plans, right? So that's the initiative. So if you don't know how to utilize your energy, then that will be a problem for your wealth. Okay, so what the Buddha asks us to do is always stay diligent, and at the same time utilize your energy to better suit that in your plans. Second, what can you do to achieve beauty? Mandana vibhusana vannasa aharu. Now a lot of people think that we are beautiful, some are handsome, some are pretty, only because of previous life. No, it could be, but Buddha says everybody can be beautiful, pretty handsome, if they follow proper ways of decoration, adorn, right? They help. So just because you don't look good the way that you want, but you still have opportunities to make yourself decorative and then beautiful. So Buddha says that you can do that. So adornment and decoration nourish beauty, right? Sappaya kiriya arogyasya aharo. So how can we attain health, right? So suitable activity, which means a sappaya kiriya. Now, what is suitable activity? Now, we have to review our life, especially when it comes to health. Number one is physical health, and at the same time, the mental health. So we have to review our physical lifestyle, at the same time mental lifestyle, which will be discussed after this translation. Good friendship nourishes ethical conduct, right? Kalyana mittata silanang aharo. So when we have good friends, that is the way how we can practice sila. So we need good friends to practice sila, because if you are surrounded by evil friends, and you won't be able to practice sila. Okay. Indriya sangvaro brahmacharyasa aharo. So indriya sangvaro, sense restraint, is the way how you can practice spiritual life. So if you really want to practice a good spiritual life, you won't be able to do it without restraining your senses. So you must restrain your senses, because the more you restrain your senses, the better you can practice your spiritual life. So brahmacharya means highest behavior, right? Avisangvadana mittanang aharu. So how can we acquire, how can we get good friends? Avisangvadana, which means honesty. So if you stay honest all the time, if you're not trying to cheat on other people, if you're not trying to swindle other people, then you are good, and you can keep good friends. But if you always dishonest, even you dishonest for a moment, even one time, that will give them a bad impression. So staying honest, that is how you're gonna keep good friends, make good friends. Sajjaya Kiriya Bahu Satchasa Aharu. Bahu Satcha is great learning. Now we know in the Mangala Sutta, we know Bahu Satcha, which is one of the auspicious Mangala factor. So why some people can be, not educated, I would say learned people, like those who learn a lot of things. The reason is that they don't practice, they don't rehearse it, they don't reflect what they learn, right? So over time they forget all that. So if someone rehearses and reviews, always recalls and try to understand, practice over time, then that person still can retain the great learning, right? So that is the nourishment to become a person who has great learning. Sussusa paripucha panyaya aharo. So as I told you before, it is only by listening to Dhamma and the good things, and questioning the Dhamma with the right person, you will be able to wise. If you think that you are not wise, then you need to always listen, at the same time question. Now in the Buddhist teachings, Buddha never says that you merely listen to someone and then just accept the way that person says. You need to question. You need to question, ask, this is what I understand, and if you feel like this is irrational, this is illogical, this doesn't make sense to you, you must question. If you don't question, that means you won't gain the wisdom. So that is one other very important thing when it comes to wisdom. So far a lot of people know that they can only gain wisdom by listening, but please keep in mind, listening plus questioning what you know, what you don't know, maybe things that raise from that conversation, that Dhamma talk or discussion. But when you question, you have to be very kind, you need to be very open-minded, and you need to make the person who is going to answer feel comfortable, and then you're going to ask your question, raise your questions. Anuyogo Pachavikana Dhammanang Aharo. This is about why someone is not able to practice good qualities consistently. So the two reasons are given for that. The reasons are Anuyogo Pachavika. So how can you practice to become a good, how can you practice to retain good qualities? That you need to commit. You must commit to your practice. If you don't commit to your practice, you won't be able to grow with the good qualities. So a lot of people, they listen to Dhamma, they go to a temple, they follow a book or a course, but then they kind of like stop. So they won't be able to practice longer. That means they expire in their spiritual practice. Spiritual practice is not a 1 month course, 7-day course, 1 year course. It's a consistent practice, and you yourself will understand where you are at a certain point. Samma patipatti sagganang aharam. Samma patipatti means right practice. So right practice is none other than the Noble Eightfold Path, which has the Sila, Samadhi, Panya. So now I'm going into the details of the sutta. Okay, Dhamma folks. Now the word dullabha or dullabho is a word that we can see in many places, specifically in few places in different contexts. Going beyond this sutta, the same Nikaya, we find Anguttara Nikaya 3.114. There's a sutta called Dullabha Patubhava Sutta. Now in this sutta, Buddha talks about there are 3 things that appear in the world which are very rare. Now there are 3 things that are really rare to have appeared in this universe. Now, because I wanna sort of discuss this word dullabha, because dullabha is rare. These 10 things are rare for someone in this life, but Buddhism talks about other rare things. That's why I'm picking this particular sutta to support our sutta that we talked today, Iṭṭhadhamma Sutta. So in this Dullabha Patubhava Sutta, Buddha says, Tinnang bhikkhave patubhavo dullabho lokasmi. There are 3 things that appear in the world which are very rare. Katame santinnang tathagatasya bhikkhave arahato samma sambuddhasya patubhavo dullabho lokasmi. So the appearance, the birth of Samma Sambuddha is rare. Tathagatappa veditasya dhamma vinayasya desata puggalo dullabho lokasmi. So this clearly means that the people who teach the Dhamma Vinaya of the Buddha, it's also very rare. Katanyo katavedi puggalo dullabho lokasmi. People who are very grateful to other people, they are also very rare, because in this society many people are ungrateful to other people, right? So you can't see that many grateful people. So this sutta talks about 3 rare things that appear in the world, universe. Another sutta, the same name, it goes by same name, Dullabha Patubhava Sutta, but Anguttara Nikaya 6.96. There are few other things that we can see which seem to be rare. Indriyanang ave kallata dullabha lokasmi. So if someone can acquire unimpaired sense faculties, let's say the main faculties, because a lot of people have different issues when they are born, but if you can gain unimpaired sense faculties, your eyes work good, your ears work good, your nose works good, your mouth, your body and everything, then that means you have an unimpaired birth with sense faculties. So that is a rare thing too. Kusala dhamme chando dullabho. Enthusiasm for skillful qualities is also very rare, because a lot of people, they have enthusiasm to execute, do bad things, right? So enthusiasm for doing kusalas, 10 kusalas, is very rare. So I wanted to bring these 2 suttas to show that the word dullabha, rare, the rarity was given in different 2 senses too. Okay, now let's get into the first rare thing, which is likable, desirable and agreeable. Bhoga, wealth. Now we know in other suttas, like in the Bhoga Sutta, there are 5 uh, things that can affect our wealth. Aggi sadharana bhoga, fire can destroy our wealth. Udaka sadharana bhoga, water can destroy our wealth. Raja sadharana bhoga, the government can destroy our wealth. Chora sadharana bhoga, thieves can, steal our wealth. Not even that. Appiyehi dayadehi bhoga, sadharana bhoga, which means, people who we don't like can consume when we die. So these were given, in response to the situations that were existent and prevalent at that time in India, right? I don't think like a king comes and take your stuff away like at that time, but the government can confiscate at some point. So these five are things that can be adinavas, called things that could happen to our wealth. Also, if you are a wise person, you can use wealth for these purposes. Anisansa, results. So you are utilizing your wealth properly. Bhoge nissaya attanang sukheti pineti samma sukham pariharati, which means when having gained your wealth, money and all that, you are making you happy. If you are not making you happy, you won't be able to make other people happy, right? The Buddha always says that if you want to make other people happy, first you need to make yourself happy, even to a certain extent. Mata pitaro sukheti pineti samma sukham pariharati. You need to, when you are happy, then you need to make your parents happy, right? And then make them comfortable. Putta dara dasa kammakara porise sukheti pineti samma sukham pariharati. So you are taking care of your spouse and then your children. At that time, there were many people who work, in houses. So them, mitta mache sukheti pineti samma sukham pariharati. Take care of your friends in the proper way. Some people put friends first, right? So the list goes in order. So first you and your parents, and then your spouse and children, other people at home, and then friends, samana brahmane. So finally, religious people, monastics. Some people, they want to offer to monks monastics first, but in the Buddhist teaching, you have to first make yourself comfortable, and then your parents and your spouse, your children and people at home, and friends, finally religious people. So that is what we understand by bhoga. So bhoga is not an easy thing to many, because many people, they don't have this courage, enthusiasm, energy. They don't know how to start and all that. Buddha always says that anyone can become a wealthy person if they follow the proper way, if they have this consistent, persistent perseverance or energetic life, right? Remember in one Jataka story, we know, I think it was Chola Setti Jataka, and the Bodhisattva was showing a dead, dead rat, and he was saying that if somebody can utilize this dead rat, that person can be a wealthy person. Actually, somebody overheard this thing, and then he grabbed that dead rat, and then he sold it to a person who had a cat, and then he got some money, and then he utilized that money to buy something for someone who had cows, so on and so forth. And he finally ended up becoming a wealthy man, because it's always about expenditure and expenses and income and expenses, right? So if we can properly plan, balance out, and know what to expend, who to spend, and all that, we all definitely be people who are not who are not uncomfortable. So Dhamma folks, don't think that you don't have a chance. You always, you might always put everything into your past karmas. No. In this sutta, Buddha encourages us to, be diligent, be energetic, and start with a good plan. Your economic, financial plans, right? So that's the main thing where you're gonna be wealthy in different ways. Second, likable, desirable, agreeable thing that we all like, but which is not easy to get is beauty. We know in couple suttas, like in the Chulakamma Vibhanga Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya, why some people are not beautiful by karma. So Buddha says that, now this is not something that we talk with karma, I mean in this sutta, but in the Chulakamma Vibhanga Sutta, Buddha says, if someone, let me quote the Pali one, Kodano hoti upayasa bahulo appampi buddho samano abhisajjati kuppati vyapajjati patiṭṭhayati kopancha dosancha appacchyancha patukaram. What does it mean? If someone is always irritable, now there are people who always get irritated, even for a small thing, right? I don't know what's going on. If someone is irritable and bad temper can take care of their temper, even when lightly criticized, appampi buddho samano abhisajjati. Even someone lightly criticized, they lose their temper. Now, let's say someone can criticize you for a reason, right? For a constructive reason. But at times someone can criticize you for nothing. But why you want to lose your temper? You just take time. What's going on? Right? There are people who always meditate and do all the good things, but they lose their temper pretty quick because they are not taking time to think about what's going on. They're gonna respond right away. Take time. And then you are calm and you know what to do. So people who are not beautiful in this life, mostly they were people who were irritable and bad-tempered people in past lives. Not even that, they were people who lost their temper even when they were lightly criticized for a small thing. And they were also kuppati. They were very annoyed. Vyapajjati, they were hostile. Patiṭṭhayati, they were hard hatred. Kopancha dosancha appacchyancha patukara. They were people who had annoyance, who had hate, who had bitterness. They displayed all that to other people in those lives. How many people showing their bitterness, annoyances to other people, right? How many people we see in our normal life? Sometimes professionals, some religious people, other people, right? So it's not good, right? In Buddhism, you can't be you can't be people who lose your tempers, right? If you do that, which means you don't know real Buddhism. Now, what will happen to those when they are irritable, bad-tempered, when they lose their temper even for a small, light thing, when someone criticizes you for a small reason, for those who become annoyed, what will happen to them? So, tena kammena evang samattena, evang samadhinnena kayassa bheda, param marana, apayang duggating vinipatang nirayang uppajjati. Noche kayassa bheda, jara marana, param marana, apayang duggati, vinipatang nirayang uppajjati. Sache manussatang agacchati, yattha pachajayati, dubbanno hoti, dubbanna sangvattanika esa. Now, this is the clear reason why they are not beautiful. Because of undertaking such deeds, I mean annoyances, a character of a lot of irritable things, a lot of irritations, a character of bad temper, a character of someone who was hostile to other people, a character of someone who had a lot of hatred to other people, a character of someone who displayed hate, annoyance, bitterness. Such people, after their death, they are reborn in a heavenly realm, uh, oh, if they return to the human realm, they will become, they will have bodies that are not beautiful. Even they are born in heavens, even they are born in human life. Buddha says that they can be not beautiful. So, but we don't take this particular rare thing with this thing, because Buddha says in this particular sutta, Iṭṭhadhamma Sutta, you can, you can increase your skin complexion or your beauty in different secular ways. So it's not bad if you don't attach to your face, if you don't attach to your body, but you simply wanted to keep the body comfortable, in a secular life. So it doesn't matter, because you know that you don't attach to your body. But just because you need to live, then you need to keep you comfortable, make you comfortable, right? So what the Buddha asks is that you can adorn, you can decorate in a proper way, which is not too much or not too less. So everybody can be beautiful, everybody can be handsome, everybody can be pretty. So there's no problem. It's a common ground. Okay. The third one is arogya. Arogya is health. Now, if we look at a sutta called Roga Sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya 4.157, the Buddha says a very interesting explanation about our health. Let me read that. Dve me bhikkhave roga katame dve. Kaikocha rogo, chetasikocha rogo. Okay, there are two types of health issues. Kaika rogo, which means physical problems, physical health illnesses. Chetasikocha rogo means mental illnesses. Dissanti bhikkhave satta kaikena rogena ekampi vassang arogyang patijanamana. And the Buddha says there are people he can see who can claim that they are healthy for an year, 1 year. I mean, we do that sometimes, right? We might say, okay, last year, 2020, we were very safe, even during this pandemic, but we never know the next year. But so far, we were taking care of us really good. In the same way, Buddha says there are people who claim that they are healthy. They were healthy for an year, 1 year. Dvepi vassani arogyam patijanamana. There are other people who might say that they were healthy for 2 years. Tinipi vassani. There can be other people who might say that we are healthy for 3 years. We were healthy for 3 years. Chattaripi vassani, 4 years. Panchapi vassani, 5 years. Dasapi vassani, 10 years. Visatipi vassani, 20 years. Tinsampi vassani, 30 years. Chattarinsapi vassani, 40 years. Panyasapi vassani, 50 years. Vassa satampi biyopi arogyam patijanamana. There are maybe people who might say that I was healthy if I'm 100 years old. I was healthy for 100 years. But keep this in mind. Te bhikkhave satta sudullabha lokasmin. Okay, these beings who might say that we were healthy for 100 years, this is no wonder, this is not a surprising thing. But ye chetasikena rogena muhuttampi arogyang patijananti anyatra kinasave. The Buddha clearly says that if any of those beings who might claim that they are healthy, including all of us, say that we are healthy, but when it comes to mental health, none of us is healthy even for a moment when we compare it with the Arahants. Comparing with the Arahants, we are not healthy even for a moment, because Arahants do not have defilement. So we still have defilement. So we are unhealthy. But you're talking about physical health. But Buddha says, if you compare with the Arahants, those enlightened beings, awakened beings, none of us is healthy, even for a moment, just for a moment, because we always have jealousy, anger, greed, conceit. How many things are going around in many people? I mean, the difference is that somebody may try to reduce, maybe somebody may have it very less, someone else might have to a certain extent, someone might have too high, right? But anyways, Buddha says that's the most important thing when it comes to health. That's the mental health. And we know Dhammapada, in the Dhammapada there is a stanza 204, Arogya Paramalabha. So the best gain in one's life is health, both physical and mental. Sila. So Sila basically means, the first part of the first section of the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path, we know that Sila means Samma Vacha, Samma Kamma, Samma Aji, which means wholesome speech, wholesome action, wholesome living. So with that, one will get into Samadhi, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi, which means wholesome mindfulness, wholesome concentration. And in order for executing Sila Samadhi sections of the Noble Eightfold Path, one should start from Panya, Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, wholesome view and wholesome thoughts. Actually, some people think that Sila is the starter, but in my understanding, Sila probably not the starter, because if you don't know what to do, okay, if you don't know what to do, then you won't be able to practice a good Sila. So if you know what to do, which means you have Panya, Samma Ditti and Samma Sankappa. So Panya is the starter. Panya is the consisting matter, consisting elements when you practice Sila and Samadhi. That's why when some people practice Sila, they will be into Sila Abhata Parama. So they are too much into Sila. The Sila is there to move on to Samadhi and then to attain the Panya wisdom. So a lot of people, they end up in Sila because they don't know what to do. That's why I am encouraging you to start from Panya. So at least to get a sense of what you're supposed to do, that comes from a basic Panya. Because Panya, we're going to be talking Panya because it is also one of the likable, desirable, agreeable thing which is rare. There are 3 types of Panya: Suttamaya, Chintamaya, Bhavanamaya. In that you understand, Suttamaya is that you need to have a sort of understanding, learning, a basic learning even before your Sila. So Sila basically means you are taking care of your physical part and your physical part, and then physical actions and your speech. In the Noble Eightfold Path, it was given as Samma Vacha, Kammanta Aji. Wholesome speech, wholesome action, and wholesome living. So in the sutta it says that if you have good friends, like friends that we know in the Singalavada Sutta, Upakaraka, supportive, Samana Sukha Dukkha, who cares your pains and worries and even good things, Attakai, who can really tell you what to do, as a counselor, Anukampak, who is always empathetic. So these friends are really helpful you to practice that Sila part. But if you have friends like Anyadattuvara, who always comes to you and takes something away from you, Vachiparam, who always gives you lip service, saying good things, but they don't fulfill, they are called Vachiparam. Anupriyabani, who always say yes to your good things and bad things. Apayasaya, who takes you to parties and all that socializing part. So they are bad friends, those 4 friends. So if you don't have those 4 bad friends, then you are good. You can practice Sila very well. Brahmacharya, as I told you, spiritual life. You will have a good spiritual life if you have sense restraints. If you can take care of your senses, piece of eyes, piece of ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So then you will be having a very good spiritual life. Okay. We call it Sattakang Sabhyanjanam Kevala Paripunnang Parisuddhang Brahmacharyam Pakaseti, which means it's a perfect spiritual life. So you will get into a perfect spiritual life if you have self-restraint. And the friends, if you have honesty, if you are very honest, if you don't deceive other people, which means Visangvadanta, you will have Avisangvadanta, which means you are not deceiving your friends, cheating your friends, which means then you will have good friends, for a long time, maybe a lifetime, maybe in the samsara. Never ever give a bad impression to your friends that you might cheat. Bahusacca is great learning, and we know that great learning, comes as a result of rehearsing, reading, rereading, revisiting what you already learned, right? Because in many places, Buddha says, even in the Dhammapada, asajjaya mala manta anuttana mala gara, which means that oral teachings become corrupted when not recited. Let's say if the monks, monastics, and even the lay people do not practice, rehearse the Pali, at least to some extent, they won't be able to practice, right? So you need to learn some Pali, some teachings, right? Especially on a daily basis. Otherwise, you will not be able to learn, recall, remember those things, right? Otherwise, you just let monks lead, and when it comes to your practical life, you always have to read a book, right? So if you practice learning all the time, rehearse what you learn, then you will have this great learning, Bahusacca. Panya, as I told you, has three sections: Suttamaya, Chintamaya, Bhavanamaya. Suttamaya means when you properly study something, then you get Suttamaya Panya. And when you reflect what you learn, is Chintamaya Panya. And when you are able to develop your mind with that studying and reflecting, with the early elements of Panya, Suttamaya, Chintamaya, and then you will have the Bhavanamaya Panya. And I have a specific discussion I did with a professor, Professor Kariwasam from Thailand, on my YouTube channel, so you can watch that. It is a full discussion about the wisdom. Finally, Dhamma. So Dhamma in this case means good qualities. So good qualities not confined to normal good qualities, Dasa Kusala, but also it can reflect the 9 Lokottara Dhammas. We know there are 4 paths: Sotapatti path, Sakadagami path, Anagami path, Arahanta path, and the 4 provisions: Sotapatti provision, Sakadagami provision, Anagami provision, Arahat Pala, which is called Arahat provision, and Nibbana. So there are 9 Dhammas. So basically it means the good qualities, 10 kusalas, but it is not limited to 10 qualities, because 10 kusalas, you're going to elevate yourself even to the extent of Navalokottara Dhammas. So finally, the Samma Patipatti. Why some people are not able to, when you look at from now here, why some people are not being able to born in a good life, why they were reborn in bad places, it is because they don't have the proper practice, Sammaditthi. They lack in Sammaditthi. Sammaditthi means that you really want to understand the Four Noble Truths, and you practice Paṭisamuppada, you apply Paṭisamuppada, depend origination into the Four Noble Truths, and then you try to understand every phenomena experiences based on Paṭisamuppada with the Four Noble Truths. So then you have your Sammaditthi, and then you will be definitely reborn in a better place. Okay, so these 10, once again, let me read for you. These likable, desirable, agreeable 10 things which are rare, can be attained, can be gained by anybody. There's no limitation to anyone, even you born into a good, bad place in this human world. What are they? Wealth, beauty. Wealth means bhoga, beauty means vanno, health means arogyam, ethical conduct or virtue means sila, spiritual life means brahmacharya, friends mean mita, Bahusacca means learning, Panya means wisdom, Dhamma means good qualities, Sagga means heaven. So as I told you at the beginning, the most interesting part is that these 10 are not discussed from a karma background, but these 10 has been discussed from within a context where everybody can achieve if they really practice these 10, right? So what are the 10 things that the Buddha asked to practice? You need to be diligent and energetic to gain wealth. You need to adorn and embellish yourself if you want to be beautiful. You need to practice suitable activities to become healthy, food styles, not having craving for food and all that. Physical activities too. You need to have good friends to have sila, good virtues. You need to have self-restraint to have spiritual life, brahmacharya. You need to have honesty to make and maintain good friends. You need to have practice, consistent practice, rehearsing to keep your great learning, or to become a person of become a learned person. You need to have listen, at the same time question Dhamma talks, Dhamma with the right person, with a teacher. Not just listening is making you wise. So if you can listen, at the same time question, then you will have wisdom. And you need to commit to the Dhamma practice, as well as review your Dhamma practice in order to practice and maintain your good qualities, right? And you need to practice samadhi to be born in a good place. Okay, so that's it. I hope that you learn. You always have a opportunity to practice these 10 to achieve these 10 in your spiritual life without being attached. At the same time, to fulfill your journey of becoming a Sotapanna Nibbana. Let's share all the good karmas. May all the good karmas we've been acquiring in all these ways be shared by all the departed relatives who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be happy and peaceful. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukita huntu ñātayo. Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukita huntu ñātayo. Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukita huntu ñātayo. Let's share all the good karmas with the deities, devas and nagas who protect all of us. May they be happy and peaceful. We know that they are also stuck in the samsara. So we wish that they use these good karmas to attain the supreme enlightenment, Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Iṭṭhadhamma ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahintika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tulok sasanang chirang rakkang tudesanang chirang rakkang tumang paranti. Finally, let's make a great wish. May all the good karmas we've been accumulating in all these ways be helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana, at the very least, Sotapatti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'm going to be blessing you with a couple more stanzas. Please receive the blessings. Abhivadana silis nichang baddha pachayino chattaru dhamma bandhanti ayuvannu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samijjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a good night and be safe.